Hello everybody, this is Spirelli and welcome back to Astrologaster. We're ready to... That's super rude. Come on, she's pretty. What does it even matter?
Ah, well met, Mistress Allen. Pray tell, the last time I saw you, you were with child, methinks. Pray tell, how fares...
I would rather not talk about that, if you please.
Oh, I see. I am full sorry, madam. What
I'm
brings
come
you
upon...
this?
The matter that brings...
Pardon, madam. I prithee, madam, say on.
I'm come about the new law. I know not what to do, and I would have counsel.
You are in trouble with the law, madam?
Nay, at least not yet, but my neighbours have begun to remark unkindly upon my absences, my Sunday absences from church. I am afeard one of them may soon denounce me.
Ah, 'tis the Act Against Recusants you speak of. The law that obliges Catholics to attend church and take the English sacrament. You are of the Catholic faith, then, I take it?
I, a Catholic, but as well a law-abiding woman and a full loyal subject of the Queen. Long may she reign.
I do not doubt it, madam.
But to take the Protestant sacrament, 'tis heresy, so says the Pope in Rome. I risk being damned to hell if I do it, Doctor Forman. Verily, I find myself in a most terrible bind.
I see. Damned if you do, yet condemned if you do not. A cruel bind indeed. Let us see if the stars may untangle it for us.
In
Should
some
Mistress
way.
Avis Allen attend Protestant church services?
So do I get this correctly? We're in a period where you have to be Protestant. I don't know about like English history. Sorry, I need to read this. I'm a Catholic. Should I obey the law and attend Protestant church services? Well, I'm fairly sure there is no hell, so you'll be fine in that regard. Some have the wrong impression of the 11th bells and are envious. There is jealousy and confusion. Mistress Ellen's problem is her female neighbors. Okay. Wow, there's a lot to read here. Avis must remain strong in the Catholic faith, for when the Queen dies, her successor may revert England back to Catholicism. And then you're damned twice by whoever religion got it correct. There may be a creative solution for appeasing the Pope in Rome, but also honoring England's Protestant legacy. I don't quite understand, because if I select B, it's like, should she stick it, or is there gonna be a creative solution? Mistress Allen risks getting in trouble with the law and being punished by authorities. It is Mistress Allen's duty to cooperate. These contradict each other, so if I select B, what am I selecting? I just want to say, you know, it's just your neighbours are jealous.
Dear lady, if your neighbours consider speaking against you, 'twould be on account of envy.
Envy? But Mr. Allen and I have not been blessed with... I've not had the same fortune as other women, and to be sure we are not wealthy.
Yes, of course. Hence you must disabuse your neighbours of their ill-founded notions. Indeed, you must have them believe that you are, in truth, most poor.
Then I am to have my neighbours pity me.
Precisely so, madam. For if they were to pity you, they would never think of reporting you to the authorities. Nay, they would say, see how low poor Mistress Allen has come. She has no gown fine enough for church, so she finds an excuse not to come by pretending she is a Catholic.
Oh, I see. Then I must wear coarser clothes as well. In truth, 'twill not be agreeable to be talked of so. But nay, 'tis naught but my vanity, and if a woman must sacrifice her comeliness for the sake of her soul, so be it. 'Tis but a small price to pay.
Oh, but be assured, madam, you would still be most... methinks you would appear no less comely in poorer attire.
Oh, Dr. Forman, you make me blush.
Forgive me, dear lady. 'Tis not my intention to occasion you any... Madam, would you care to... see my collection of Venetian glassware?
I think I would. Indeed, I would like that very well.
Is that a euphemism for something? I'm just asking. Okay, so that didn't quite go as I thought it would, but sure, dress poorly, because people are nice to poor people? I don't think so. The queen did wish to know whether she would comply with the law and attend Protestant church services, thereby betraying her Catholic faith. I did advise the queen to avoid going to church by pretending she was ashamed by the poverty of her attire. Methinks the queen was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Coitus post consultatio. It was a euphemism. Oh, and you didn't even write a full letter. Were you not satisfied with my classwear? God amend me, what have I done? If only I knew of a Jesuit priest I might confess my sins to. It's like, yeah, what should I do? I can't betray my religion, but also let's, you know.
Here comes a beauty dark as night. Her hair does shine, her eyes are bright. A damsel formed for man's delight. Oh, she is quite a lady. Oh, she is quite a lady.
Good day to you, sir. I am Amelia Bassano of Bishopsgate, here for my consultation.
Welcome, Mistress Bassano. Bassano? 'Tis an Italian name, is it not?
Aye, it is, sir. Though I was born in London, my family are from Venice. They did come to London to gain employment as musicians at the royal court.
Ah, I know one of your countrymen, Riccardo Ferraro, another one of my querents. Mayhap you know him? He hails from Venice, too.
No, sir, I do not know him. Venice is a large city, and as such 'tis home to many thousands of men. And as I did mention, I was born in London.
Aye, of course.
Not so smart, no.
Mayhap we turn our thoughts to what brings you hither this day. Have you a question for me?
Aye, sir, I wish to know what afflicts me, for my belly does begin to swell, and lately I oft find myself chundering after meals.
Swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. Well now, let us consult the stars to judge the cause of these troubles. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Bassano?
Well, let's find out. What is the cause of my swollen belly and my chunderings? Suffering from liverworm. Swiss child. Oh. The moon falling in Scorpio suggests the illness will not last long. Or with a crick in the knees caused by pressure of excessive weight gain. No, her knees are fine. What is a liverworm? Might that cause swelling? Is she also with child?
I neglected to ask. Is there a Mr. Bassano?
That would be good to know.
My father still lives.
No, not that one.
I mean to say, are you yet married, Mistress Bassano? I presume you are, for the stars indicate that you are with child. Wondrous news indeed.
Ah, I see.
Of course, it is natural for a young lady to be a trifle anxious when she's expecting her first child. And I see you are anxious, are you not?
Drink
Mr.
some of my
Forman,
wine.
I own that I am.
Well, doubtless you are anxious owing to the unpredictable nature of your condition. For instance, sometimes the child might emerge from its mother's womb early, weeks or even months earlier than anticipated. This possibility is a medical fact, and one that should be explained to any husband you may... Do you see what I'm saying, Mistress Bassano?
Nay, not in the least, sir.
Ah, some of my maiden querents, I assume you are still unmarried and therefore a maiden, when they find themselves inexplicably with child, they oft do not remain unmarried for long. I advise you to discuss this with your family without delay, Mistress Bassano. Doubtless they will be keen to make the arrangements for you.
I see. Yes, of course. I must lose no time in finding a husband. I thank you, Dr. Forman. Good day.
It is a well-known fact that a child often is born weeks or even a month early, but you know, a full-grown child, like fully developed, not born too early, just sometimes. But yeah, in that day and age, you'd have to be married before you got pregnant, or otherwise you'd have troubles finding a husband, and then you wouldn't be taken care of because you as a woman couldn't do anything by yourself. The quern did present with a swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. I did judge the quern as being with child. Methinks the quern was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. See, like, just asking a couple further questions after hearing the case would really help with like, oh, could she be with child or not? Doubtless cousin Alfonso will consent to marry me. Okay, like this. That time, not as weird a sentence as it is for me now. Especially if Lord Hunson settles money on me for the child.
Mary Kate is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for 'tis a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes direct from Satan's paw. La 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 la.
Did not expect that, but okay. She's afraid of spying glasses, but she's okay with me watching the stars and telling her the answers to all her problems.
Blessed morrow to you, Doctor Forman. I am Mary Payne of 4th Street in Lambeth. I'm come to seek your counsel about my neighbours.
Good morrow, Mistress Payne, and well met. What trouble do your neighbours give you? They play their lutes into the night, perchance? Mayhap a neighbour has cast a malignant spell upon your cabbages.
Why, sir, 'tis no trifling matter. Indeed, 'tis a matter of grave importance. Doubtless you do know we have a Catholic living on 4th Street.
No.
A woman by the name of Avis Allen.
A Catholic?
Yes. I did hear tell that Mistress Allen subscribes to the Romish faith. But 'tis no crime to be a Catholic, is it, madam? At least, not at present.
Aye, but harbouring a Jesuit priest is, Dr. Forman. These evenings past, I have spied a man sneaking in and out of the Allens' house. 'Tis my reckoning the man is a priest who is going hither and thither all over Lambeth to perform the Catholic Mass and take confessions.
That is what they're
Doubtless
doing.
Mr. Allen is hiding him in one of those little cupboards.
You mean to say you think Mr. Allen has installed a priest hole in his house? A secret room hidden behind the wood panelling of a wall?
Indeed I do. I am certain that he has such a hole, and that a priest is going in and out of Mr. Allen's hole from dusk till dawn.
Verily? How troubling. But surely you are mistaken, madam, for under the cover of darkness, how can you be sure the man you did spy was not Mr. Allen himself?
Nay, 'twas not Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a fine, tall figure of a man, whereas the figure I did spy was very narrow and malformed in appearance. A scrawny little imp of a man he was.
I see.
Now, you must not think me intolerant, Dr. Forman. If Mistress Allen must cling to her idolatrous backward beliefs, 'tis her own affair, and I have no wish to cause trouble for the Allens. And even though Mistress Allen has lately not been seen in church, thus far I have held my tongue about it. But we residents of 4th Street are decent English folk. We will not abide an agent of Rome sneaking around our neighbourhood, muttering incantations in some devilish foreign tongue.
Latin?
I think you mean Latin, madam.
But before I act upon my suspicions, I think it wise to know if there be any truth in them.
Then let us
there are
see
none.
what the stars can tell us. Who is this mysterious stranger, and why does he frequent the Allen's house late at night?
So just a quick question, is it me? Am I showing her more of my classwear? But yeah, I can already tell you without looking at the stars, none of that is true. You do not need to tell on her. Oops. Are my neighbours the Allens hiding a Jesuit priest? The man Mistress Payne saw harbours cruel intention towards Allen's household goods and possessions. Oh. Mistress Payne will die suddenly, mayhap before the end of this consultation. Narrow and malformed, a scrawny little imp of a man. Okay, it is me. This speaks of a relationship with an untrustworthy foreigner. As foreigners are untrustworthy by nature, this element may be of no particular significance. Different times. Mr. Allen's maternal instinct have been thwarted by inability to bear a child, but she stubbornly persists in trying to reverse her infertility. The man Mr. Payne saw as a public enemy who engages in idolatrous worship of the Virgin Mary. In other words, he's a Jesuit priest. Stories speak of an educated man who adorns himself in fine clothes. But it's not a priest, right? It is me, because it's like... This says... This indicates that it's me, but then I don't have any intentions towards the goods and possessions. Wait, what was this part? It's an untrustworthy foreigner. Sure, let's go with that. Maybe that'll... But no. Because she's afraid of the priest of Rome, so that would be a foreigner that would... But this, like, am I trying to kill her if I tell her she might die before the end of this consultation? Reading the stars is no easy task. I'll have you know. Educated man in fine clothes, but he isn't. I don't want to say it's a priest. Let's go with that. With the foreigner.
'Twould seem the man you saw is a foreigner who's been secreted into the Allen house to aid Mistress Allen with their family difficulties.
Family difficulties? Come, Dr. Forman. Pray, speak plain.
Ah, well, as you doubtless know, the Allens have never been blessed with a living child. Mayhap 'tis the belief of Mistress Allen that the seed of a foreigner would prove more powerful than the, demonstrably less successful seed of Mr. Allen.
Then 'tis naught but adultery, fornication with a foreigner. Mistress Allen will pay dearly for such sinning.
Oopsie.
Her soul will be damned to an afterlife beset by the exquisite tortures of hell's capricious demons.
Aye, well, according to scripture, that is technically true.
But to harbour a Jesuit priest is a far greater evil. We must be glad that Mistress Allen commits naught but the sin of adultery, conducted late at night, with a man who gives forth strong foreign seed. You have given me much to think on, Dr. Forman. Blessed day.
I am glad to have been of service, Mistress Payne.
So here's a question. Oftentimes, when they couldn't bear children at all, when they couldn't get pregnant, it was blamed on the women. And in that cases, that wouldn't always be true, so then the strong seed would really help. But if indeed she does get pregnant but then loses her child, I have no knowledge of those kinds of illnesses, of those kinds of like afflictions. The querent did wish to know whether her neighbours, the Allens, are illegally hiding a Jesuit priest. I did tell the querent that the man she took for a priest is a foreigner who is helping Avis Allen conceive a child. Methinks the querent was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Right quicker, I need my recommendation letters. What a fine looking youth Forman's manservant is. I would that I were my niece's age again.
When the querent does rock a continental frock, when the querent does rock a continental frock, when his Italian flair features on facial hair, 'tis Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
God give you good day, signor. And how may I assist you?
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Doctor Simon Forman.
Did
So
the
I
wine
see.
help?
What brings you this day?
I bring myself to you, so you treat my illness. 'Tis very grave.
And, what might this illness be? Perchance we might start with your complaints.
First problem is the laughter that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable laughter, you say? I see. Anything else?
Next problem, the dancing that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable dancing.
How much of my
And
medicine
yet,
are you taking?
You do not appear to be dancing at present.
What can I say? 'Tis uncontrollable dancing. I cannot control when I dance.
Nay, 'tis a fair point.
Doubtless my disease, whatever it may be, is very rare and very difficult to diagnose. But of course, if it be beyond your medical understanding...
Let me assure you, Signor, that whatever is said of us on the continent, the learning of we English doctors is unparalleled. There is no better medical care to be had than in London. Now, let us see whether the stars may tell us something of your unusual and troubling illness.
Let's read the stars, shall we? Uncontrollable laughter and dancing. What ails me? Again, how much of the medicine are you taking? Signor Ferraro has been bitten by a tarantula on one of his ankles. Tarantula venom causes the victim to laugh, sing or dance uncontrollably, while also provoking an acute loathing of music. Or Signor Ferraro is suffering from colic, a disease that occasions abdominal pain, bulking, bloating of the stomach. This does not sound like what he has. I have no idea whether a tarantula would do this, but sure, it fits with his symptoms.
You have been bitten by a tarantula. Its venom has been creeping throughout your body, provoking the wanton laughter and dancing you're experiencing. The tarantula is a rare spider from foreign climes. Doubtless it travelled with you from Venice, hiding itself among your belongings.
Aye, doubtless you are right this time.
The venom may be expelled from the body using a combination of heat and music. I advise you to have a lutenist come by your house to sing and play for you while you bide near the fire. But take care not to insult the musicians playing, for whilst you will find it most loathsome, 'twill only be on account of the venom.
Molto bene, Signor Forman. I will do as you advise. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
So basically, so far I told this man to drink a lot of wine and now take a hot bath while listening to music. Should listen to my own advice. The Quern did present with uncontrollable laughter and dancing. I did advise the Quern that he has been bitten by a tarantula. Methinks the Quern was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. How did Mr. Forman know of this rare illness? It seems as if he has at least some learning. Excuse me, I have lots of learning. Lots of learning.
Why does this lady feel confined? Mayhap the world is too unkind. Nay, doctor, medicate her mind. Pray cure this comely lady. Pray cure this comely lady.
Is she not with child? Is that why she's back already?
Good day to you, madam.
Yes. Good day, Mr. Forman. Pray tell, is your Venetian querent Riccardo Ferraro one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Nay, Signor Ferraro has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Forman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed, 'tis quite the reverse. He is oft rendered all the more loquacious, plaguing her with ill-formed metaphors he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds to happier thoughts. I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lanier, for which I must congratulate you. And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
Aye, I was, as you correctly judged.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the subject of my husband, Dr. Forman.
As it pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I oft feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son. Methinks I must have some kind of disease.
I see. Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. what is ailing Mistress Emilia Lania?
So, the Mr. Ferraro is not Italian. Also, one time I felt like his mustache was like half falling off and he was fixing it. Which is interesting. And also, it felt like he was checking the amount of medical knowledge I have. And he was like, he didn't know of the tarantula. How could he know that? So, he's definitely testing me. She, on the other hand, sounds like she has some kind of depression. I feel heavy and lethargic, yet I cannot sleep. What ails me? The curate suffers from melancholy, being an excess of black bile. Melancholy? Yes, melancholy sounds more right. I think is what they would say for depression. Curate suffers from phlegmatism. It is temperament associated with an excess of phlegm, characterized by stoicism, stubbornness. The current is troubled with an excess of choleric temperament. It is associated with an excess of yellow bile. Sufferers exhibit an aggressive, opinionated nature. No, so I think melancholy is the correct one. But of course, first thing would be like, oh, you know, it's just because you're a woman and you were a child, so you cannot have anything other than just, you know, you're a child. It's all fine. Let's go with this.
Mistress Lania, the stars indicate that your suffering is occasioned by melancholy, or, in other words, black bile.
I see. And what treatment can you give me for it?
Before we speak of treating your condition, madam, I think it wise we determine what has provoked it. You did express a desire not to speak of your husband, and I cannot help but think that such a reluctance reveals where the source of your troubles might lie, to wit, within your marriage. Would I be right in thinking this? I do not wish to cause you distress, madam, but as a doctor, I do feel I must press you in case it is relevant to your troubles.
My marriage is not a happy one, Dr. Forman. Mr. Lanier and I do not agree on matters of money and strong drink.
I see. And what are your opinions on these subjects?
That he spends all our money on strong drink. He disagrees.
And your husband cannot be brought around to see your point of view, nor you his, I presume. Well, the marital discord provoked by strong differences of opinion can often engender melancholy in a wife. Until the matter is resolved between you, you may take a syrup of roses and chicory. Drink of it each day, and it will serve to reinvigorate your vital spirits. I will also have my manservant William bleed you of some of that excess bile.
I thank you, Dr. Forman.
William, come hither and bleed Mistress Lania.
You know what she really needs? She needs her husband not to be a trunk and spend all the money on drinking. That is what will cure her. Different times. But yeah, it's like, oh yes, if there's a difference between the opinion of the husband and the wife, then often the wife ends up in a depression. That is how it goes. Here, let me just cut you open a bit and let you bleed out a bit. That should solve it. Let's end on this fun one here today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back more. I'll be back soon with more. Thank you.